Does anyone else ever wonder what life in a monastery would be like? All that peace and quiet. Encouragement to grow yourself. The time to contemplate your life and what life really means to you. Time to ponder the truths that surround a human life. And access to materials passed on from people who had a much higher understanding than us. Anyway, I just thought about that before I started this video. It might connect with someone. I don't know. The reading that came out is very interesting. The story of Sleipnir. It's an 8-legged horse that could travel between the 9 realms. It's a story that can be looked at through the lens of this freaky ass horse with 8 legs, right? You see a horse with 8 legs, you're like, that's wild, that's crazy. But it used it for good. It used it to travel in between and bring people this thing that this horse could do that no others could. It helped to bring peace to the 9 realms. It's this story that can be looked at as embracing your uniqueness to go for a path that helps everyone, right? I think you're in a transition period. And there's some amount of confusion and questioning that comes with that, right? And there's no amount of... You're not getting the clarity that you want. Everything feels like a question. There's no answers in sight in your life. And it's hard to feel that. It's really hard. The thing that always helps me through it is thinking that I've gotten clarity on things before, right? And I hope you've had this experience, and if not, maybe mine is enough. Things in the moment, ways that life turns, things that happen, can feel very confusing. And there's an amount of, how could this ever be towards... How could this ever be winning, how could this ever be what's going to guide me to what I want in life? How's this going to guide me to what I've been looking for? And that clarity has never came for me in that moment. Just more questions. I've learned to accept those moments and keep my peace the best I can during those. But I've always found that later I'm brought back to those moments and I understand why everything was confusing. I understood why I wasn't given the answers in those moments. I go back to those moments and I can understand that even me not getting the answers was for my highest good, was towards me achieving what I needed to achieve, right? If someone hands you the answers to a test in school, you don't learn much. And I think you can look at it like that. There are some things you have to figure out on your own, right? And you're always helped along that path, I believe. You're always helped and supported, and if you fall too far off the path, you're going to get help back onto it. I've experienced that as well. And I think people who choose paths that will impact the most people have to learn the hardest lessons. And I think that's because you have to be tested to see if you should be allowed to affect that many people, right? And I'm talking about if you choose those paths from a spiritual perspective, right? From a perspective of spiritual growth, of personal growth to get to those places, not to be born into it or to lie, cheat, and steal your way into it, right? Or to fuck people over to get there, or to take advantage of others to boost yourself up, right? And you learn those lessons, and these things happen to you so that you can gain the strength that you need, and so that you can be the person that can make the change you want to see in the world, right? Some people are born with an innate sense of looking at the world and seeing that it's wrong. Seeing that things have gotten out of hand, that maybe simpler was better, right? That maybe we've pushed too far in the name of progress. That we've pushed too fast in the name of progress, right? Without thinking of the long-lasting consequences that things will have. I mean, we're only recently moving towards clean energy after we fucked up the climate. And I'm sure there was someone along the way who said what would happen, and there were many people who ignored it. And environmental activists have been around for a long time, long before it became a major issue. Um, and only now, when governments are supporting it and others, those in higher places of power are supporting it, does it receive the attention it deserved in the first place. Anyway. I don't know if your transition is the same as mine, but mine has been getting to a place of not being afraid to speak plainly or say what I think. Say what I think the truth is. Say my personal truth, right? I realize that if there's all these people spouting opinions of hate and arrogance and ignorance, why should I not also say mine that aren't that? Ones that I say with the intent that everyone gains from it, that everyone can take something from it, that another card that came out. This became a bit of a depressing video. But I think the world we live in, the way the world is going, it's not somewhere we want it to keep moving. And if we all ignore that fact, then we'll keep heading in that direction. And I don't think anyone wants that. I hope nobody wants that. Another card that came out was Fenrir, which is a story of destruction and fear. Fenrir was destined to eat Odin, which sparked destruction, right? Odin was the defender of the Nine Realms, so when he died, much chaos was brought to all of them, right? It's a story that can help you look at things more broadly. Are we all destined to follow our paths, or is there free will, or is there only destiny? Are some people destined to only do bad things, or can they change that? I know people can change. I'm not sure to the extent. I've changed a lot as a person, but my morals, the way I see the world, and the way I love and the general brightness that I see even when things are tough, even when things are dark. The light I try to bring to situations whenever I can, that's always been a part of me. And I don't know if some people are just born to spread chaos and darkness and bring imbalance and hurt people, or if that's a choice they make along the way. I truly do believe you can change. That people can change. But I don't know if there's a point of no return. This turned into a different video than I thought it would be. But I think those for a reason. I'm going to go and finish out the reading. Something came out about cycles. That this is a that's what made me think about the transitory period, whatever. That this is a transit point, right? This is a turning of the page. This is a new chapter. This is you're at this point of harvest and change, and maybe you've gained new perspectives. Maybe you've decided to turn over a new leaf. Maybe you've looked at some things and accepted them as they are. Accepted parts of yourself and tried to... That was also part of the story of Fenrir, is looking at parts of yourself. Fenrir was always seen as this gnashing, aggressive, aggressive energy. Do you use that energy for destruction, or do you use it to protect those you love? Do you use it to protect what you love? Do you use it for the betterment of the world, or do you use it for the destruction of it? Right? There's two ways you can use that. You know, there's always, in shows with like lawyers and stuff, there's always that one that's like, oh, they're a shark. You know, they're this wild, gnashing, like, lawyer fiend, right? And it's like, there's that person who defends the criminals that actually do really bad things, and there's that person who uses it to defend people who are actually innocent, who uses it for change and better and to help people that actually deserve it, right? And one is rewarded with much more money, but one of them can actually sleep at night. You know, sleep at night knowing that they are on the right side. that they're doing the right thing. And that's the two things of Fenrir, right? I also think that there's a lot in this about speaking your truth, your authentic truth as well, right? And something that came out is about poetry, or more broadly, right? Honoring your words. Honoring that your words have value, your views have value, the way you show up in the world has value. The way you think about things has value, right? Honoring those things, honoring your truth, honoring you in the most general sense, right? And not just how you are within, but how you are without. Does that actually mean outside of yourself? I'm not sure. How you are in within, right? Your inner monologue, how you view the world internally, and how you speak that out into the world, honoring both of those. There's also a beautiful message here about I had it and I lost it. Hold up. I need to, I know which card it is, I just don't remember the meaning of it. Let me bring it out here. Okay, that was that. Hold up, we are getting there. Any second now. Yes, okay. Making the choices to change your life. I touched on that earlier, right? Potential lies in making a different choice, right? Going somewhere different than where you have before. Not subscribing to the way your life used to be and making the choice that can change it for the better. And that choice is usually made without any knowing that it will actually bring about that change, just with the hope that it will. And when you start thinking down new paths, right? When you start thinking about your choices and what might come of it, try not to think of things as set in stone. Try not to think of things as, when you think of a future potential, especially those in the spiritual community, there's a lot about going down daydreams, right? Going down dreams and walking down these timelines, pretty much, right? Looking into the future and seeing these possibilities. That's why I don't like the word destiny. Because it always comes with this sense that there's nothing you can do to change it. There's nothing you can do to stop you from getting to that point. And I believe that there's always a choice. But you have to really look within and see, is this destiny something that you want? Is it the path that you want? Is it what you want to do with your life? This vision that you have for yourself, is it really what you want? And if it is, then there's no reason trying to change it or really caring. I should reword that. How you get there is just as important as the destination, right? I know I didn't say that out loud. The thing that I was like, I should reword that, but I thought it, and then I was like, not quite. How you get there is just as important as the destination. And I think how you get there is much more magical than, and much more freeing. And there's a lot that you can learn along the way if you're open to it. And there's a lot that you can enjoy along the way if you're open to it, right? Okay. I think that's pretty much the reading. I hope this helped you. And see you in the next one.